What's going on, guys? This is our weekly solo players walkthrough guide to the Nightfall. This is our Warlock variant, so if you need a Hunter or a Titan, those links will be in the description box below. This week's strike is the Undying Mind. Haven't had this one in a very long time. It used to be one of my favorites to solo, to be honest. This week, for whatever reason, was giving me a very rough time, but we'll get into that in the actual guide. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe, because we do this every single Tuesday and Wednesday with every class: Warlock, Hunter, Titan. We also do a Challenge of Elders guide, so if you need that this week, go ahead and look in the description box down below. Because this one is getting so late, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to do the rest of these videos tomorrow. I will try and do one more today, but more than likely, if you're watching this on Tuesday, the Challenge of Elders and the other two Nightfall guides will be up Wednesday. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, let's go ahead and go over the modifiers, and then we'll look at our setup, and then we'll hit this guide. Modifiers this week include Epic. Heavily shielded and highly aggressive enemies appear in great numbers. Specialist. Special weapon damage is favored, but it will take away from your primary and your heavy damage output, so just keep that in mind. Juggler. No ammo drops for your equipped weapons, so swap weapons or use Icebreaker. Grounded. Players take more damage while airborne, so don't jump. And Chaff. Player radar is disabled. This really kind of sucks on this strike specifically, because you're either running away from ads in the boss fight, or you're looking around for ads at the very beginning so you can unlock the that Vex gate. So either way, Chaff sucks this week. It really does. Anyways, as far as setup goes, I actually start off with a shotgun, which is probably a surprise to you if you've watched most of these guides I do. But we're rocking the Matador. I would highly suggest it be Void, just because of all the Minotaurs. They have Void shields. This takes them down. It was taking normal Minotaurs down in one shot, and it was taking the Majors down in 2 to 3 shots. So if you have one with performance bonus, highly suggest that one. Just because with Juggler, you're not going to be able to get the ammo for it from killing with it. But with performance bonus, you have a chance to grant a bonus reserve ammo. So it won't show up in your magazine, it'll show up in your preloaded, I don't know what you want to call it, your reserve ammo. But then once we get to the boss fight, we switch over to our Void Devil's Dawn. If you have something like Event Horizon or Ex Machina in Void, that would also be really helpful. You notice we're going all Void because Void shields, we want to get those down as quick as possible. We're also rocking Undying Mind. I haven't rocked this thing in a long time. Nova Bomb reduces the cooldown of your next Nova Bomb. This helps a lot in that middle section, especially since it's the Vex version. So the more Nova Bombs you get, the quicker you get them back, the more you can throw. And they do one-shot the major Minotaurs, so if you get a group of them clustered together, perfect. As far as setup goes, we're rocking something a little different this week. We're keeping with Embrace the Void. Killing enemies with Nova Bomb or any grenade triggers energy drain and restores your health. This saved my life a couple times, even in the boss fight. So I definitely rock that. Normally I would say the Hunger increases the duration of the energy effect, but we want to increase the size of explosions created by Nova Bomb and grenades. You might actually want Vortex Mastery. Increases the range of Axiom Bolt Seekers and the duration of Vortex grenades. The Vortex effect of Nova Bomb and Vortex Grenade. So I would definitely go between these two depending on how confident you are with your health. I would stick with Lifesteal. Damaging energy drain immediately restores a small portion of your health. We're using the Vortex version, which actually throws me off because I've been using Lance a lot lately. which pretty much is the same thing as a vortex grenade, just with a Nova Bomb. So then, of course, we're going vortex grenade because we're not using nothing manacles. So let's go ahead and get into this guide. It is a rough strike this week. Alright, so this week it starts off right off the bat in a Nightfall zone, if that's what you want to call it. What I like to do is take out this hobgoblin really quick. You are going to get swarmed a little bit by regular goblins, nothing too major. There's maybe 5 or 6 of them in this area before everything starts spawning in all over the place. There are 2 minotaurs, one on the left side of the room, one on the far right, which will pretty much stay hidden this entire section. But just keep in mind he is over there. There's also that guy. There's going to be 3, I guess there's 3 minotaurs actually, but there's one down here as well. So just keep him in mind. I like to use the rocket launchers to get their shields down, and then normally it'll just take 1 or 2 primary shots. We are using a heavy, high impact scout rifle. I would highly suggest you use one of those as well. With a lack of a sniper in this section, you're definitely going to want some sort of longer range weapon. So just keep that in mind while you're setting up before you load in. As you can see, you definitely want a void shotgun, especially for this section and the next section. But go ahead and kill all these enemies, and you'll start spawning waves. I believe the first wave is just a bunch of hobgoblins and goblins, which isn't too hard at all to deal with. Which is actually this one right here, I believe. And then the second wave is going to be with some minotaurs, and then hobgoblins and goblins. And then the third wave is going to be with 3 or 4 hydras, as well as not shanks, but the Vex version. For some reason, I'm totally blanking on what they're called. Anyways, we'll see them in just a second. So once you defeat all of them, make sure you do have to clean up this entire room of enemies before that thing unlocks, which is why I was saying Chaff gets really annoying. Especially in this strike. Harpies, that's what they're called, harpies. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and let this section play out so you can kind of see how it all unfolds. Well, I'll meet you back in the next section. Alright, so once you get to this point, as you can see, it did take a little bit longer than it should have, but that's alright. Go ahead and take all these guys out. There's going to be about 4 or 5 goblins, and 2 minotaurs. Go ahead and take them out. And then there's also going to be some goblins and hobgoblins on these stairs that you're definitely going to want to keep at a longer range. Maybe get some special ammo back. But go ahead and deal with them in your own way, and then we'll move on into the next area. Alright, once you get here, before you move into this section, you will want to pop any synths you might want to use and let your health regen, because there are going to be a lot, as you can see, instantly killed. This is the section that takes the longest time. So just be very, very careful. Like I said, if you want to pop a heavy synth, go for it. If you want to pop a special synth, I recommend that as well. But just be very careful if you have to. I run about halfway back down these stairs. It does kill a lot of time doing it that way, but it also saves a few deaths. So whichever way you choose, fight it out or run all the way back down, just be very careful. You don't want to get halfway done with this Cyclops' health and then have to start over. Which brings me to the point of this Cyclops. There is a Cyclops in the far, far back room. I might look at him eventually. There he is. You can kind of see him there for a millisecond. You have to kill him in order to remove the Nightfall tier in this section. So once you get rid of him, the Nightfall things go away, and you can die over and over and over and over and not have to start over. I think I do die about 4 times. So prepare to die. Anyways, there's going to be several waves, as you can see. You're going to want to conserve as much special weapon, especially if you're using a shotgun, as possible. I wouldn't waste your special on these goblins unless you absolutely have to. I would do what I'm doing right here. Back up, let them chase you, and just whittle them down with your primary or your heavy. But whatever you do, try and get as much special weapon out of these guys as possible. If you're using a sniper, I would suggest obviously standing back, but use the majority of that ammo on these Cyclops. Get that thing out of there, kill it as quickly as possible, and then you can just kind of like relieve yourself of that stress. As you can see, he does shoot like this Nova Bomb type thing. If you don't know, if you've never encountered one of these before, I like to just run back and forth between the 2 spots. That way I never once get hit. I don't really have to worry about a wave of ads spawning in on me. All the waves of ads are just going to be major goblins, hobgoblins, and minotaurs. Every single one of them. I think there's about 3 waves that kind of randomly spawn in. So just be careful of them. But other than that, that's about all I can tell you for this section. I'll meet you up after he's dead. Alright, once you get here, to be very fair, to be very honest, skip them. Just run straight past them. You'll be alright. You'll survive. But as you can see, fighting them, there's really no point. Just go ahead and skip them. As you can see, that's exactly what I'm about to do. I'm looking at my time, 10 minutes. Spoiler alert, I do not make it to the sunrise bounty, so can't show you guys that this week. This is I don't know if I was just trying to rush it too quick or what, but this felt a little bit more difficult than it should have. I'm gonna go ahead and skip some of this just because I die, but there are gonna be like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 waves of 2 goblins coming out of this teleporter, and then 2 minotaurs come out. And then once you kill the 2 minotaurs, I would highly suggest switching over to a sniper and running all the way back. There is a little cheese thing you can do at the beginning of this strike before he moves, where you can shoot the boss and he won't shoot at you. As you can see, I'll demonstrate it right here, and then we'll skip it. We'll skip to death, because I'm sure you guys have seen more than your fair share in this video. I also wouldn't worry about these ads. They don't shoot back at you either, so you can just lay into the Undying Mind, the boss, and then just worry about the ads once he starts moving. Now, once the boss starts moving towards you, get the hell out of there, because he will shoot you and it will hurt a lot, and you do have to kind of drop down in the air, and if you get hit by one of those, it hurts a lot. So just be very careful of that. Let's go ahead and skip over this death. Alright, so now that you're down here, you're gotta deal with these ads. It's really no big deal. As long as you kind of stay back here while the boss is kind of more towards the back, you just kind of take them out at your leisure. I would deal with all the ads, or the majority of them, before you start laying into the boss. For one, you want to build up your super, because there's going to be 4 waves of ads, and you want a super more or less for all 4 of them. Hence, Nova Bomb, or Obsidian Mind. That will help a lot in this section. But go ahead and take out these ads. This wave is just going to be a bunch of goblins and hobgoblins, nothing really too major. But go ahead and, I think it's about 1/4 of a health the first wave of enemies spawns in. And that's just going to be goblins, hobgoblins, and minotaurs. They're going to come out of that teleporter. So if you want to, kind of wait for them to build up, and then blast them with a Nova Bomb once the minotaurs start coming out. And then you'll get like a good, healthy chunk of your super back. It's pretty awesome. But go ahead and do that. Be very careful of him. As you can see, he is roasting me alive right now. Go ahead and just pretty much stay at the opposite end of the map as he is. Luckily, Bungie gives us just enough cover in this to solo it. Like, I mean, just enough. You can run and hide behind this place right here. You can also go behind these stairs, just like so, and snipe him. Either way, you want to be kind of far away so you have some reaction time to get the hell out of the way of his little bolts. Now you see this game actually came in a lot sooner than I was expecting, which I thought this was the second wave. It's actually the first, which is about half health. There's going to be one not Minotaur, but Hobgoblin in the middle, and then he's going to be surrounded by a bunch of regular goblins. This happens on both left and right ends of the room. I've noticed it's a lot safer on the right side of the room, which is where we're at right now, which is why I stay here the entire strike. Now, after that is when the Hobgoblins, Minotaurs, and regular goblins are going to appear over in the middle. So go ahead and deal with them as soon as they come out. Try and take out these guys, but you don't actually have to. I just start dealing more damage to the boss, and about a quarter of health left, maybe less, is when you'll get another like teleportation spawn that we just saw of these guys, but this time there's going to be one Minotaur on this side. I think there's 2 or 3 on the left side that I'm shooting at right now that will spawn in. Use your Nova Bomb on the major Minotaur no matter what, even if he's all alone, the only one by you, because he'll hurt you real quick. The other ones you can kind of use rockets or heavy machine gun, whatever you got, but you definitely want to get rid of that Minotaur on the right hand side first. After that, the left hand side will kind of chase you about halfway into this section, but for the most part they'll kind of leave you alone. They might shoot at you a little bit, but they really won't be anything too massively worrisome, so I really wouldn't worry about them too awful bad. But I'm going to go ahead and speed this up because this is getting to be quite a long video. As you can see, my time's already expired, but that's alright. To be honest, it's not exactly worth it to start all over for this week. It's just really it's a really time-consuming strike. I don't recommend doing it over and over and over trying to get the sunrise bounty this week. There's bound to be an easier one next week. I actually think next week is a daybreak strike, if I remember correctly, if I'm counting right. So that'll be a whole lot more fun than this strike in particular. But yeah, other than that, hopefully this guide helped you out in some form or fashion. And if it did, hit the like button. I'll greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, like I said at the beginning of the video, we do this every single Tuesday and Wednesday. So go ahead and hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. Links will be down in the description for the other 2 Nightfall guides, as well as the Challenge of Elders guide. Like I said, they'll probably go up tomorrow. As soon as I get off of work, I'll start working on those. This one's getting pretty late my time. I do got to work at 3 o'clock in the morning, so that's going to be fun. Hopefully, like I said, you found this helpful. I'll talk to you guys probably tomorrow.